What is up, aspiring engineers? Back again with another video. It's Nosana, as some of you guys already know. I've done an introduction video on building and structural construction N5. So this is BSC N5. And in that video, I was just doing an introduction to the bending schedule, right, or bending schedule. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be doing an exam walkthrough. And also, if you're new to my channel and watching videos from me for the first time, please care to share, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be posting more content that has to do with civil engineering. For those that are that have taken the college route and need assistance. As someone who's also going through college, I've realized that our lectures don't go in as much details as they need to, to help us understand. So I've taken this a step further, and I've done as much as I could, to understand the content and also put it out there for those that are having lectures that are difficult to understand, right? So you need to subscribe for more great content and more civil engineering content, and also the content that I'll be sharing with regards to this civil engineering journey, right? So in this video, I'm just going to be doing an exam question walkthrough on on the bending schedule, basically. So this is the bending schedule, and as you've already noticed, is our questions or the papers are always out of 100 and also 3 hours, right? And each question and each mark is a percent, and it really is important that you maximize the marks that you get. Okay, so in this question here, we have question 4, and this is the question that is dealing with the bending schedule, right? Guys, the questions that come, they don't follow the same format. I don't know, except for maths N5 and N4, and I think from N1 as well, right? Only maths follows like the same format. But when it comes to the other questions, okay, maybe QS follows the same format, but questions like BSS, BA, BSC, right, they don't follow the same format. They can bring maybe what you think will come in the last question, they can bring it as question 1 and so forth, right? So they don't have the same format, and you just need to be prepared. The good thing is that you can start with any question that you want. Okay, so that's a good thing, right? So back to the main purpose for this video. The bending schedule. What you need to know for bending schedule is already discussed in the previous video. I mentioned that the bending schedule is just a table that is indicating, or the table that is showing, the amount of steel that is going to be used in a beam, in a reinforced concrete beam or reinforced concrete slab, right? So basically, this is the table. This would be the table, and we're going to discuss more on this table. But first, this is what the question comes with, right? So the question is question 4, and they tell you the diagrams that you're going to use and the figures that you're going to use. So you need to familiarize yourself with what is going on in the question, so that you know which diagram you're going to be working with, right? Over here in question 4, they say that figure 3 and diagram sheet 2, they are attached. They were on the question paper, right? Shows 3 sectional views of a 4,450 millimeter, right? 4,450 millimeter times 330 millimeter times 450 millimeter deep reinforced concrete beam, and then the abbreviations for the required reinforcement is included. Okay, so they're saying do not copy these drawings, obviously, right? But I mean, they had to tell us this because this is BSc, and someone can say that we have a drawing board, so we are going to do this. We're going to draw this, but they had to tell us that we are not copying the drawing. We are going to remove annexure A, which is this, which is basically the table. So that means we don't have to know how to draw the table for the bending schedule because it is going to be given. Okay, and now we need to complete the bending schedule, right? Now look at this. Complete the bending schedule right, for three such beams, and the reinforcement cover is, the reinforcement cover is 30 millimeters. Okay, so guys, for those of you who don't know what a cover is, when you look at a concrete beam, right, when you look at a concrete beam, that has steel inside it, right, what you don't see is the steel, right, that is inside. Why? Because it is covered by concrete around it, right? It is covered by concrete around it. So I'm just going to draw like a front view of what a concrete, maybe a beam, right? So we will have the reinforcement steel, right? Maybe 4 of them like this, right? Okay, so I made a mistake here. Let me just do this. They can be somewhere in the middle. I mean, not to say in the middle, but what you notice is that there is space on the sides, right? There is space on the side, and this space is what we call the cover, right? This space is what we call this is what we call the cover. Okay, so it means that the reinforcement is being covered with concrete, right? Is being covered with concrete. So that's how it's going to look. Okay, so let me just show you. With the cover now, this is how it looks. With the cover, it's going to look something like this. I'm going to try to construct. Okay, so you see what is this square, or this rectangle rather, that I'm drawing around these 4 steel beams, or steel, right? This is what we're going to call a binder. It's called a binder, right? And what it does basically is it holds the steel together so that it doesn't go up sideways, right? So that's what it does. It's a binder. It holds the steel so that the steel doesn't go sideways, right? It's called a binder, or it's also called a stirrup. Okay, now this is what we have over here. This is what we have here. These are the steel, right? These are the steel bars. They call them the steel bars. And then that other steel that is that is moving around, is what we call a binder, or what we call a stirrup. It just holds the steel bars together so they don't go sideways, or, as you're pouring the concrete, they don't move around. Okay, and this is now what we call the cover. Is this part here, right? As you can see, the part that I'm shading, that's the part where we call a cover, because it's a concrete cover. It's covering the steel works, right? It's covering the steel works, right? Now, so that is what they are saying. They are saying the reinforcement cover is 30 millimeters. So that means that this part here would be 30 millimeters. Okay. You will know why that 30 millimeters is important. And also, the right angle band is 150 millimeters, and then they're saying that allow 100 millimeters for the binders. Allow 100 millimeters for the binders. Okay, we will get to that, but now what you just need to know is the 30 millimeters and the 150 millimeters. Okay, so guys, remember, bending schedule deals with finding out how much steel has to be used. Okay, now this is the diagram that they have, right? The diagram sheet that deals with the bending schedule, right? So we need to calculate the total amount of steel in meters. Basically, it will have to be in meters. We need to find out the total amount of steel that is going to be used in 3 of these structures, right? Look at this. They said how many? They say 3 such beams. So we need 3 beams to be constructed. Okay, we need 3 beams to be constructed. So before we even get to the answering part, we also need to understand how these bars are named. Right, guys, I'm sure you can't, for you to say that you wanted to do civil engineering at this stage now in N5, you have seen, probably came across construction sites, seen videos on social media of reinforced concrete structures, or maybe the failing concrete structures, and so forth, right? So basically, where I'm going with this is that we have different types of steel bars, right? We have different types of steel bars, and they are named differently, right? These steel bars are named differently. You see, if you see Y12, right? So the bars, right? So the bars, steel bars, the steel bars, right? That have the steel bars that have the steel bars that have Y, right? The steel bars that have Y12, right? So the number that is 12, I'm taking it from here. Okay, so the Y means that the steel that is being used, or the bar, this describes the type of the bar, right? So this means the bar is a high yield. It's called what we say. Uh, we can say high yield, right? High yield, right? It's called a high yield, right? Okay, so sorry about that. So if it has a Y, basically it just means that it's a high yield deformed steel bar, right? My bad. I'm still getting used to the namings, but you just need to know that if it has a Y, it's a high yield deformed steel bar, and then the number that is coming after the Y is the radius of that steel bar, right? So this one is not the radius, the diameter. Sorry, it's the diameter. And now, if it has an R, for example, this 13R10. So if it is an R, it's called it's no more high yield now. It's just a plain. It's what we call a plain round. It's a plain round bar, right? Plain round steel bar, or plain round bar, right? Or they can even say plain round mild, right? Mild steel bar. So basically this is just that smooth steel bars. They are just smooth, right? And these ones, you can almost think of them like wires, right? If you think of a wire, it's easy to bend, and so you can think of this as as a wire, right? Because this is what they use when they are doing the binding. They use this one here when they're doing the binding, or when that's what you're going to call a binder or a stirrup. It is these ones that have R, right? Why? Because they are plain round mild steel bars. Okay, back to the 12. This is the high yield high yield deformed. So what it kind of looks like is like this, and then it has, these things here going on it, right? That's what we call a high yield. So these are the most common ones. You will notice them on the construction sites, right? They are very hard and they don't bend, right? So I think they kind of look something like this. Okay, yes, something like this. So these are your high yield steel high yield deformed steel bars, right? So these are the ones that have R. These are the ones that have the Y. Okay, so now we know that the number that comes after the letter means the diameter, and the R tells us the type of steel. The Y means the high yield, right? So you can take the Y and say yield, right? The Y means the high yield deformed steel bar, and the R means plain round mild steel bar. Okay, so the 13, now the 13 just means, so if you have a letter, okay, if you have a letter like what we have here, over here, let's say you have let's say 14 Y12, right? So what this means, it means that we have 14 of the high yield deformed steel bars, and their diameter is 12 millimeters, right? So that's what it means. Similarly, if you have 10 and then R and then maybe 20, right? This just means, ladies and gentlemen, it just means that you have 10 of the plain round mild steel bars, and the diameter of each is 20 millimeters, right? But now, as you can see in the question now, you will have a number before the letter that is telling you the type of steel being used, and then the diameter, and then they just give you a number over here. Like here they're saying 1. You can see they have 0, 1 over here, and then it's changing. In here they have 0, 2. Those numbers are what we call, okay, so those numbers are what we call, let me just show you. It's over here on the right, is the mark. Basically it is the mark. Those numbers that are after the letter, after the diameter, they are called the mark. So it's just the mark of your steel, right, of your steel member. That is just the mark, because they are different, so you will need to collect them by the number, so you know that this and this and this, they are similar and they share the same mark, so you can count them together. Okay, so that is that. My intention is not to answer this question as yet. It is just to inform you guys on what is happening. Right, now moving on, what we will need to do, or what we'll need to see now, is that we are given the summary of the shape chords, right? So this is going to help us to find out, this is what we call the shape chord. Okay, this is what we call the shape chord. And then this part here where we see A, it is this part that we'll need to put in our bending schedule. As you can see, this is just a dimension. We have A, we have B, we have C, we have D, right? E, and then OR. So these are the dimensions that we find from our chord, our shape chord. Okay, as you can see over here, number 20, chord 20, we have A, and then chord 39, we have A and B, right? So we will need this this summary of shape chords when we are entering our steel bars into our bending schedule. Okay, now let's study, or let's analyze the table. Okay, so we are going to answer this question, but for now, I'm just going to show you guys what is happening in this table. Okay, so in this table here, we have the column, right, 1 to 12. We just have columns from 1 to 12. And then we have the members, the reinforcement, and the dimension, the bending dimensions, which are coming from where? Which are coming from the summary of the shape chords, right? And now we have a rectangular beam. So this is the type. As you can see, the member, we have a type of what we are working with. They said rectangular beam and a column, and that's exactly what they gave us in the question. It's a rectangular beam. The horizontal part is the rectangular beam, and the vertical part is the rectangular column, right? But now the 3 over here, we have 2. They say 2 off, right? So this is just to tell us how many of them that we need to make, right? But now when you look at the question, they said we must make 3 beams. You see, 3 beams of the same dimensions, but over here they say 2 off. So it's a typo. They are supposed to say 3 because the question is asking us to do 3, right? My guess is that they took this annexure from a different question paper, right, that required them to create 2, right? But now we are required to create 3, and they couldn't, they forgot to change this 2 off and make it 3 off, right? So that is that for now. And now what else? Right, so this mark, right, this mark is coming from the steel member that you will find right over here. Let us just look at this bottom part, this bottom steel here. This bottom steel, as you can see, it's marked, it is 3, right? There are 3 of them in this beam, and yes, there are 3 of them in this beam, and they are high yield. As you can see, it has a Y, so it's high yield deformed steel bar, and then it is 25 meters diameter, and its mark is 1. So it's going to fall under this, right, in this column here as 1, right? And then the type and the size, I am going to show you guys in the following video, right? So that is that for this video, and in the following video I am going to be doing this question with you guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you've made it this far, don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe, and be part of this awesome channel.